sanibona, dumelang, goeiemiddag. Welcome to Lentswe, the voice of Transnet, where we bring you the latest updates on how we at Transnet are shaping South Africa's logistics future. I am your host, Yanga Soch. We have some big news that you may have heard of. Transnet has recently taken delivery of brand new cargo handling equipment with 892 million at the Durban Container Terminal. This is part of a major investment to boost efficiency, reduce delays, and improve service delivery at our country's busiest port terminals. But what does this investment mean for port terminal operations, for efficiency, and the broader economy? Also, what impact will it have on businesses and everyday consumers? To help us break it all down, we will be speaking to Earle Peters. He's the managing executive for Durban Port Terminals and will provide insight into the significance of this major development and what is next for Transnet. Welcome to Lentswe, Earle. Thank you for making time to chat to us.
Thank you for the opportunity this morning.
Thank you so much for making time to unpack this big milestone for us here at Transnet. Let's start with the bigger picture. We have made this big investment in modernizing our cargo handling equipment. Can you give us an overview of why this investment is so important?
Now, we have a recovery plan and we are tracking it very well. Now, part and parcel of this recovery plan, it hinged on the aspects of addressing the specific challenges that led to the decline in the operational performance that we've seen at the Port of Durban, in particular the Pier 2 container terminal. So this particular investment that we've made in this infrastructure, being the straddle carriers, the rubber-tied gantries, and ship-to-shore cranes, is at the center of the plans to improve service delivery.
Efficient port terminals are the backbone of a thriving economy, and having the right equipment in place makes all the difference in reducing delays and improving productivity. Now let's talk numbers. This newly acquired fleet, including the pieces of equipment that you've just mentioned, are part of a larger order of over 100 pieces of equipment that we will see being delivered across all of our port terminals. What can you tell us about the specific role of this equipment in improving terminal operations? Like, what does a rubber gantry do? Why is it so important?
The equipment that we are referencing are container handling equipment, and they are used in container handling operations. The type of equipment being a rubber-tied gantry, essentially it straddles containers, it stacks it in a rectangular shape, and it stacks it, in this case, particular for the Pier 1 container terminal where we have employed these new rubber-tied gantry cranes, they stack 5 high. So it's the highest that we have been stacking, particularly with this new equipment coming in, this new technology. The straddle carriers, similar technology to the RTGs, it just carries one single container where it straddles this container, and it would transport a container either from the yard to a vessel, or when we do an import operation, it is containers that is received by the crane and taken by the straddle carrier to the yard where it is placed in stack. This particular equipment means that if they work well, we handle the vessels that call at the terminal in a much more efficient manner. There's no breakdowns, they remain reliable throughout the shift, and we get the productivity that we so wish to ensure that we depart vessels on time as per the contracted windows that we have contracted with shipping lines, so that they can get to the next port on time.
That's very impressive, Earle. Thank you so much for that explanation. And with the cost of delays affecting businesses and consumers alike, this investment truly does come at a crucial time for our country. Durban is a key getaway for trade in and out of South Africa, and the DCT has faced challenges due to aging infrastructure. But this investment is set to change that. What improvements can we expect in efficiency and capacity with these big changes that we're seeing there at DCT?
This introduction of this investment, in particular of the equipment, which is the straddles, the rubber-tied gantries, and the ship-to-shore cranes, we must also just remember that it is part and parcel of supporting the economy, in particular the communities for which we serve, the value chains that we serve, because when these containers imports or exports are handled at the container terminals, we must remember there's also logistics behind this. So the efficiencies that we are looking at is receiving trucks that visit our terminal as a port user and turn it around within the set targets that we have shared with industry, also to meet the vessel turnaround times of vessels. We must also remember that these are large callers. The call sizes of vessels has significantly increased over the years, which therefore means that it's the same time, but more volume that needs to be handled in the same period of time. So we have to be more efficient. And this introduction of this new equipment is giving us that capability to do so.
Oh, thank you so much for that explanation. It really is motivating to hear all these plans, basically, to ensure that we're being as efficient as possible, not just for our operations, but to serve our communities, the businesses that we work with. And it's a win win situation for the entire South Africa. And now let's look at the sustainability element of this big project. Sustainability is a major focus for us at Transnet. And this new equipment is designed with the environment in mind, featuring diesel electric hybrid technology. How does this align with Transnet's broader sustainability strategy?
As it stands globally, everyone, all organizations, and the normal consumer wants to reduce the carbon emission footprint. Now, we are also committed to supporting the Sustainable Development Goals, and thereby we've also procured the new technology that has now arrived and that we've deployed into operations. We've purchased as what we call it's hybrid technology, so it's diesel electric equipment. It means that they're more efficient. They use less energy, it's less electricity, it's less fuel, and they are faster, which means that we're much more efficient in terms of handling. The capability has also assisted us in terms of dealing with the climatic conditions that we are seeing, that there's definitely been an increase over the years, where we have to contend with rain, heavy rains, particularly in the KZN area. We have to contend with wind and severe winds. However, the technology we've purchased now comes with anti-sway technology, which means that we can work for much longer um, due to this technology to combat and counteract the elements that we need to contend with where containers do sway in the wind. This creates stability for the machine and we can handle this cargo in a safe manner.
That's very interesting to hear, Earl. Quite the step in the right direction for us. And balancing economic growth with environmental responsibility is essential for the future of logistics. And now, can we look at the broader aspect of what this means for our South African economy? We've said previously in this conversation that all this investment is not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of South Africa's operations and South Africa's consumers. From importers to exporters to retailers and consumers, how will this investment contribute to the economic growth and trade competitiveness?
The important aspect that we need to remember here is this is a step forward. This investment that has been made by Transnet in the much needed infrastructure, particularly around the equipment that we've injected. It is one to build a 21st century transport system that is robust, that is sustainable, but will also create an inclusive economic growth for importers and exporters in the country. And this resonates with the mandate as a state-owned company wanting to reduce the cost of doing business.
Thank you, Earl. It's clear that these upgrades are about more than just equipment. They're about strengthening South Africa's position in global trade and ensuring a seamless supply chain. And can we now look at the future? We know that our ports, they handle all kinds of cargo. We're in the agriculture industry, we're in the automobile industry. What else can stakeholders look forward to in the coming months? What are you busy with that side?
What we are busy with is that what port users have seen and what various industry stakeholders have seen is only the start of the revitalization of the fleet that we are renewing at the container terminals. We are bringing an additional 16 more straddle carriers into Pier 2 container terminal. We are also renewing the ship to shore cranes at the Pier 1 container terminal, where we will be introducing 6 new cranes. There's an additional mobile crane that will be purchased and acquired for the multipurpose terminal, which has become a complementary conduit for handling additional container volumes in the port of Durban. And this has really given us that flexibility to stay ahead of the curve of dealing with the traffic and demand that is placed on a port such as the Port of Durban.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, Earl. And this new equipment that we've just received, what season of your operations are you in now that this new equipment will be assisting in?
Very important. It is certainly part and parcel of our contribution, but also to support the logistics and also trade, is that we're now in the reefer season. It's a citrus reefer season. I would also like to say that based on the plans that we have shaped and we've collaborated with industry stakeholders, is that we are ready for the kickoff. We expect a boom, and we would like to leave the assurance and confidence with the market that we are ready to handle this traffic that will be coming through the Port of Durban. A kickoff session has been scheduled with industry and stakeholders the 11th of April 2025.
I see you guys are always busy there, forever looking at ways to improve and innovate and making sure that our ports remain competitive and efficient. A lot of work has been going on in our port terminals. It hasn't just been the effort of our customers, but it's also been a lot of work inside Transnet. What would be your message to our colleagues on the ground who have been working tirelessly in the rain, in the wind, in the heat to make sure that every day Transnet delivers? And also to our external stakeholders, the people who make sure that we have work to do. We are part of a big community, and every day everyone is playing their part. What would be your message to everyone involved in this big supply chain of ours?
Transnet could not have done this on its own, but I have to recognize the commitments, the dedication shown by the employees on the ground, the teams, to wanting to deliver the services that is required by the economy. In particular, 60% of the cargo comes through the Port of Durban. The Port of Durban handles 60% of all container traffic in South Africa. And this is being done by a very motivated team. One that has been looking forward to the new investment. We've now finally given the tools for the teams to even perform better. And I'm looking forward to a successful reefer season, but also being able to capture all of the growth that is available. That becomes an inclusive growth for importers and exporters. And ultimately, this will lead us to more of a strategic but also sustainable solution for economic growth.
Earl, thank you so much, and congratulations to you and the team on the ground and everyone who has made this happen. It has been part of a journey, as you've mentioned at the beginning. It was part of the recovery plan, and now we're at this point where we're reaping the rewards of all the hard work. Thank you so much, and we will be looking forward to see what is next at our ports. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Lentswe, the voice of Transnet. A huge thank you to Earle for providing valuable insights into how this investment is sent to transform port terminal operations in South Africa. For more updates, subscribe to our channel, follow us on all social media platforms to stay engaged in the conversation, and be part of the journey towards a more efficient and sustainable logistics network. Until next time, I am Yang Asoji. Stay informed, stay connected.